Hey guys, SuperCoach Guide here, and today we're doing the final team reveal. Now, can things change between now and Thursday? Yes, they probably can in regards to rookies and whatnot. Otherwise, I think it's set. I think we've got the team, and yeah, hopefully we can do something good with it this year, unlike last year. But if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe, comment any questions you have about my team once you've seen it, and we'll get right into it. Okay. At D1, we're going to go with the cheese man, Harry Sheasel. 635K. Look, this guy, it doesn't matter where he's playing, he's going to score. If he's playing forward, he will just start in the forward line and go straight into the middle. If he's playing at half back, he'll do the same thing. Not that I think he'll do that this year. And if he's playing in the middle, well, there's your SuperCoach points. The other thing is players are less likely to tag him compared to LDU. I think LDU is probably because of his burst out of stoppage and whatnot, he's more likely to get a tag. But yeah, I think Sheasel is the pick of the yard in the defenders. So we'll get onto D2 because I think that's a pretty obvious pick. No need to talk anymore on him. Jordan Clark. Now, his practice game was elite. And I think he will fit in really well. I think he'll be a top 3 defender all year. And at 560K, I'm going to take that. Even if he's top 6, it's not a bad pick. So happy to pay 560 for him. Yeah, just got that halfback roll down pat. And I don't know, I don't think he'll get much of a tag, to be honest, this year. Maybe he does. I'm not sure. I think they're more likely to just tag a Sarong or a Brayshaw, to be honest. Next at D3, we've got. Let me just check. Oh yeah, Max Holmes. So Max Holmes obviously now doesn't have the early buy, so we can pick him with nice confidence that he will be a top 8 defender all year. Considering it seems like he's playing full-time mid and Stewart's now going back to that backline role, I think I'm happy to pick Max Holmes over Stewart. And yeah, there's probably going to be a few bad scores in there, but the really good scores will make up for it, I think. So happy to have Max Holmes at D3. Now at D4, we have Matt Roberts. Now, as you know, the last team update, I had Jaden Short and Perryman. Now I've got Matt Roberts. So Matt Roberts, 430K. He played really well. He didn't even have 30 touches and he got 124. Like, I'm really confident in picking this guy. I think he can have games where he's going to have like 35 touches and it's going to be a 150. So yeah, really, really like him, like his role. It doesn't look like Sydney will be as good this year. Might be wrong. Could be easily wrong, in fact. So hopefully the ball's in the back line a bit. But yeah, I really like the Matt Roberts pick. And at 124K, at 434K, he could be potential top 8. Now we've got Perryman. So I've dropped Short, but Perryman's still in. So 28% owned now. Wow, that's a lot. But at 417K, we saw last night, he played a good game. The role's good. And yeah, so the role's there. He's going to be playing midfield unless DeGoey impacts that when he comes back. But I think it's pretty certain that Perryman's going to be playing in the midfield all year. So yeah, like the pick, all he has to do is average around 90, maybe a bit more, and probably 95 to be honest. And that's it. That's a really good pick. So happy to have Perryman in there. Also, don't want to have any like only 1 or 2 rookies on field. In the back line, probably only one. So, yeah, we'll go with Perryman. Now, D6, this was Josh Sin. I actually just mucked around with my team then and found a option I much preferred. So, yeah, I think we are going to have, who was it? It was yeah, we're gonna have Ben Patton here. Now, Patton's gonna be there for now. Whether I actually have Patton on field or on the bench, I'm not too sure yet. We can decide by Thursday, but I think Patton's an easy pick, 130k. I think he's going to average around that 65. So it's not a terrible score on field. So happy to have him join the squad at D6. He should hold his spot, hopefully. You would have thought. Maybe it changes when Logan McDonald comes back in a few weeks. But for now, happy to have him there, getting me a 60, 70 score on the field. Yeah, with Josh Sin, I'm so scared of him getting subbed. I am so scared. And if I start a 200k guy on the field, I don't want to have him having a sub risk. Sorry, 223k or something. I think if he plays a full game, he could be an amazing pick. But the sub risk, I don't know. I've looked at the fixtures. It's too hard to swap anyone in and out, and you're gonna have to start a 220k guy on field. And obviously we got Reed and Patton there, so who both play before him. So it's just I think it's too difficult to risk that and risk him getting a 25 on field. Obviously, if he looks good first week or first 2 weeks, I'll bring him in. But I think it's a bit risky starting him. Then we've got Zach Reed. So Zach Reed, he's just an easy pick. He's going to get games. He's going to score. It's just the injury risk, and we saw that last year. But I think, I think it's a pretty easy pick. And then next we're going to pick Luke Trainer. So Luke Trainer, he should play. He shouldn't get subbed, but it just happened that I had one rookie left over to get, and you'll see at the end I have $300 remaining, so I didn't have much to work with. I think Luke Trainer should play and should get some decent scores. I'm not looking at anything outrageous here. If he makes 130k, that's fine. A defender rookie this year. In the midfield, so that's the back line. Really happy with it. Really happy with it. Wouldn't change a thing except for maybe Josh Sin, but it's just, yeah, it's a bit hard. Now for the midfield, we're picking Caleb Sarong. So Caleb Sarong, he's been pretty much a mainstay in my midfield all year, all preseason. I took him out for a bit because I wanted Nick Dacos, but I just can't pick Nick Dacos anymore after what I saw. And I know it was 28 degrees in Sydney, like sun beaming. Players are going to cramp, but early third quarter, I just don't know. It's too risky for me, especially when he's just scored a 67 and he's got an early buy. No, thank you. I can pick him up in round 4 or 5 for 550k, and I'll take that. All right. But with Sarong, I mean, whether he gets the tag or Brayshaw gets the tag, I think it's probably more likely to be Sarong, which this pick could potentially change to Brayshaw. I want to pick one of the two. So, but it's Sarong for now. I think Sarong's got higher ceiling, probably more likely to average more. So even though he's 30k more expensive, I'm happy to pay that. Next, we've got, who do we have? We've got, Connor Rozee. So Connor Rozee M2. If you told me 2 weeks ago that I'd have Connor Rozee at M2, I would tell you you're an absolute idiot. So, but here we are. And things have changed in the world of Supercoach over the last 2 weeks a lot. And Connor Rosé, like the pick, especially with Butters out. The plan is, depending on when Butters comes back, is to let Rosé make his money. And then when Butters comes back, get on Butters. I don't know who they're going to tag between Butters and Rosé and Horn-Francis, but I think it's probably more likely to be Rosé. But at 530k, I think he's just got that much upside that I just need to pick him. And then next we are going with Clary. I think Clary is just an obvious choice. I think you have to pick him. I think fading this man is a massive mistake. I think he can be a top 4 mid, and that's no joke. Like, especially with Bont and Butters out, he could probably be top 2 mid. And at 450k, just give me that right now. But yeah, don't need to talk on him. Next, we're going to pick Chera. Now, I do have a few concerns with Chera, just with that calf history. I think it's calf. It's some soft tissue injury, but I think it's a calf. That calf history is a bit scary. But at 447k for what he's done 600k before, like it's too hard to pass up with these guys who are still should be in their physical prime and football prime. It's hard not picking them. And that's also with, like, the same with Clary, but Chera's obviously doesn't have the ceiling Clary does in this game. But yeah, love the Chera pick. But yeah, now we've gone with the guy who's just absolutely destroyed us, Collingwood yesterday, and yeah, it was terrible, wasn't it? I couldn't watch it anymore. Like, that last quarter, I zoned out. I couldn't watch. Callaghan was destroying us, and that's exactly why I'm picking him. Yes, he scored a 144 on an average midfield. However, he looks like he's improved that much. He's improved his burst from stoppage by a mile. When Tom Green comes back, what does it do to him? I don't think anything. I think he's playing 100% mid. I believe maybe a bit of time forward or like just to rest up, but yeah, I think he'll be 100% mid. I think he had the highest game time for Giants, maybe apart from like key defenders and stuff. But yeah, where is it? I'll find it for you. Yeah, he had 84% time on ground. So obviously not the most, but probably the most for any midfielder for the Giants, apart from Toby Bedford, who had to stay on to tag Dacos, and then obviously Dacos got pulled out of the game at the end there. But yeah, Finn Callaghan, love this pick and very confident with him going into round 1. Now, obviously got the early buy as well. Now, M6, we have. I can't believe I have to double check this stuff. I know this team in the back of my hand. We're going with O'Driscoll. And I have disagreed with everyone saying O'Driscoll is a pick. But then you look at his history and he can get to 300k really easily. My concern is whether he can get to 350k. Now, he's got GMHBA in round 1, where the ground is skinnier, not that good for wingmen. I did see Isaac Smith say, though, that his favourite ground was GMHBA because the wingers were in the contest. And I think, so it's almost the equivalent of O'Driscoll getting CBA time. So I think we do pick him. It's either him or O'Sullivan, right? So yeah, happy to go with O'Driscoll. Pretty confident in that pick for now. Next, we've got, I think it's Ashcroft. There's a spoiler. I'm picking Ashcroft. No, it's Sardis. So we've got Sardis and Ashcroft. Now, I look at this midfield and I'm really happy with it. I know I've seen teams like, especially lately, where they've gone like 6 or 7 like primo slash mid price mids. I like having these 3 200k rookie guys on the field too much to not do that. And I want to have, you'll see my flex, but I want to have him on field as well. So yeah, I mean, Sardis, I think he's just a lock. He's probably the best midfield rookie, I reckon, because he doesn't have that sub risk that Ashcroft does. What we think he does, we don't really know. But yeah, I really like the Sardis pick. Yes, he's going to have more handballs and kicks in every game, but yeah, no, he's a good player and he should make the money we need him to make. And yeah, Ashcroft, I think you just have to pick him only because if he doesn't get any sub time and he gets CBA time, you're stuffed. He's going to score, and you've even heard from people he's got more forward craft than Ashcroft, so he could actually score more than Ashcroft in Ashcroft's first year. So I think you just have to pick. Sorry, Will Ashcroft. But yeah, I think you just have to pick Levi. I think whether he's on your bench or on your field, I don't mind, but I think you just have to pick him. Next we've gone with Kako in the midfield. Now you'll see why when I get to the forward line, but yeah, Kako in the midfield. I think it's hard not to pick him because he could have a game where he scores like 100 and kicks 4, and at 150k, I think you kind of have to do it. So I don't really want to pick this guy because I know his scoring is going to be like he's either going to get a 30 or 100. But yeah, if he can get up the ground and do work up the ground, I think it can be a really good pick. So happy to have him on the bench. I would not be putting Kako on field, that's for sure, though. Next, we got, is it Camporelli? No, we got Max Hall. So this can be either Max Hall, Boxall, or Hasty. You pick which one you think you like the most. I think Max Hall for now. It could easily be Boxall. It could easily be Hasty. If Hasty plays that backline role, he could score really well. If Boxall doesn't get subbed, he could score really well. And if Max Hall doesn't get subbed, he could score really well. So I think it's a bit of it's rookie roulette with those Saints mid rookies. You just got to pick one of them. And I think I've leaned towards Max Hall because he's got mid forward status. So you can flip him around if you need to. And yeah, I'll take that luxury over the other two. Next, we've got Camporelli. Now, can you put Camporelli on field? You probably can. As you can see with my lineup, it's a bit difficult to have Camporelli on field. But yeah, you definitely probably can. Yeah, so he's pretty much absolutely announced that he's going to debut. He's going to play that wing role. Carlton wingers go all right. They don't go too well. They'll score like 65, 70. So it's not the worst score on field for midfielder, but you can just take that if you need to focus on other lines. So I'm happy having him as like an emergency, maybe even Kako, but yeah, happy with Camporelli in that at M11. Rucks, I've gone with Tom de Koning. I think the upside's too good. I think it's actually silly if Carlton actually end up going with the 2 ruck combo. I don't think it works. I think TDK is so good that you've got to keep him as a solo ruck. Yes, he can play a bit of forward, and that's probably what they're looking at. But when Curnow comes back, he could be playing round 1, I don't think you should be playing TDK, Curnow, and Mackay in the same forward line. It didn't work last year. It's not going to work this year. So happy to have TDK at R1, and then we're going with Matt Flynn at R2. Now, this could be either the stupidest thing of all time or the best thing of all time, because here's why. You go to Flynn, you go season stats. He's got Gold Coast. Now, it's not difficult to score on Jared Witts. It's not easy, but it's not difficult. Then you got Brisbane, where he scores okay. He just needs an 80, 85 there. And then he's got Freo. Now, if he plays on Reedy, if Reedy's still playing by that point, he is going to have the biggest field day of all time. You also got to remember that the injury history is there. He's very injury prone, and that's a worry. But I don't know. I just really like the Flynn at R2 pick because it means I can mess around with better players in other lines. Yes, it's going to be hard, not owning a Gawn or Sherry, especially in those first 3 weeks where they're both going to go nuts. I think Gawn's going to have like 200 this week, so I would pick Gawn if I could, but with my lineup, I just don't think I can. Also, I don't like relying on a player to get 200 round 1, even though he's on Lockie Keefe. It could go downhill. And then on the bench, we've got Boyd. So Boyd, probably one of the biggest locks this year. Just put him on your bench. Hopefully he scores well type of scenario. Hopefully he stays. By the sounds of this, they're starting Marshall on the forward line for the first month. So he's going to already make some money playing that ruck. He's playing ruck. They're going to probably throw Marshall in the ruck, maybe I don't know, games on the line, or just to chop out for Boyd. But yeah, I think you just have to pick Boyd. Forward line, who else other than the horny man himself? 63% owned now, so it's really gotten up there. I really like him as a pick. He has to improve, but on from last year, it's natural progression, and there is no way this guy is not a top 2 forward at the end of the year. No way. But yeah, F2, I've got Rankin. Now, Rankin, he does scare me in ways. How much forward time is he getting? How much mid time is he going to get? Is it going to be a 50-50 split, or is it going to be 30-70? However, I don't think there's a world where this guy is in top 6 forward. So I'm going to pick him in confidence at 520k. Next, we've gone with McRae. So McRae, 390k. I don't think you can miss out on this guy. Seriously, if you do not have this guy in your team, do anything you can to get him in your team. You'd be silly not to. He could average 110, and there's no joke about it. He genuinely could average 110. He's playing full-time mid at St Kilda. Last time he played full-time mid, he averaged about 115, 120. So just keep that in mind. Next, we've gone with Riley Sanders. He's a new addition, and it's because I've gotten rid of Sin that I've been able to get Sanders. So I had O'Sullivan on the mid bench and then Kako down in the forward line, and that is why Kako is now in the midfield, to allow Sanders to come in. I don't want to have any rookies on field in the forward line. So, and I think Sanders averages more than Sin, a lot more. I think Sanders will. The numbers say, I've been talking to people about it, the numbers say that Sanders should average 90 in the role he's playing for the amount of minutes that he should play in it. The issue is Bevo. There's no issue with Sanders. The issue is Bevo, and whether Bevo is going to give him that time, because I think they have to. They have to start. They have to, because they're not going to have Treloar. They're not going to have Bonds, and Libba's obviously 35. What are they going to do? They have to play. Sanders is their third best midfielder in the moment. So I think they just have to play him in there. But yeah, this is a late decision. This is I've picked this 5 minutes before recording this video. but I think I'm going to stick with it. Now, as you can see, I'm fading Bailey Smith. Why am I fading Bailey Smith? Because I just don't think he's good enough to average 100, and I want a player that's going to average 100. I think Sanders will out-average him. I actually do. I seriously think he will, because I don't think, one, it's Chris Scott, and we don't know how much mid-time Bailey Smith's going to get and how much wing time he's going to get. Two, he hurt his, I know they said he's fine, but he hurt his opposite knee to what he did his ACL on. Like, those knees are made of glass. I'm not touching a player whose knees are made of glass. So, yeah, Sanders it is. Who's next? Oh, Daniel, of course. Daniel. No, absolutely love the Caleb. Anyway, back to Bailey Smith. I'm happy anti-potting him. I don't think he's going to hurt me as much as anti-potting a different player. I don't think he's going to be that good. And there's people that are picking him over McRae. Silly. Anyway, Caleb Daniel, 270k. I don't think there's any thinking required to pick this man. It's 74% owned. I think he's the most owned player in SuperCoach. But yeah, if you don't pick Caleb Daniel, you've lost SuperCoach. You can't win SuperCoach without having Caleb Daniel. That's considering that he's not going to get injured. But yeah. Next, we got final F6 is Hugo Garcia. Now, I've allowed to go Garcia to F6 because I have gotten rid of Sin and O'Sullivan. So it gives me that luxury. It's also like going from Day down to Callahan. It all pans out to make this thing work. So yeah, really happy with the Garcia pick. Think he should be all right. But yeah, he's like the third best midfielder at the moment. It's ridiculous. So I think you just got to pick him, let him make his money, and then go somewhere else once he's done making it. Next at F5, we are going with what's his name? Connor Stone. Yeah, Connor Stone. Now you're gonna see, and then F6 is Davidson. So you're gonna see that that I don't have Elijah Hewitt in. That is because I just don't know if he's going to play. Is this guy actually going to play? Because if he is, then I might have to get rid of a Kako or a Max Hall and get him in. But yeah, I just don't know if he's going to play, and I can always correct that trade. Correct that if he does go well, correct that through a trade. But for now, I just don't really want to pick him, considering I don't know if he's even going to play, let alone he could also be a sub. So yeah, I'm happy picking Stone and Davis. And Stone's showed enough. He showed he's literally going to average 60 to 65, and there's nothing more to it. Through his practice games and his round zero performance, he looked good. He looked good yesterday when watching him. But yeah. And then Davidson, I think you just have to pick Davidson, to be honest. So, yeah, I mean, what he scored on a wing the other day for Bulldogs, he's obviously, the scores are going to be up and down. He's going to have a 45 and he's going to have a 75, 80, and that's just because he's on a wing. So that's why I don't really want to field Davidson over a Patton who's just going to give me a 60 to 70 every week. But yeah. That is... Oh, no, we got a flex. I forgot we had a flex. Oh, my God, I'm living in old times. But my flex... I'll scroll down here. Is Mitch Nevitt. Because Mitch Nevitt, he is going to be playing midfield for the Cats. I think he's going to be playing midfield over Bailey Smith, to be honest. He's big-bodied... So he's tall. I don't know. He's not that big, but he's tall, and he's just going to tackle all day and get contested ball all day, and that's going to result in 70 plus averages. So happy to have him at the flex. See, I want to field all of Nathan O'Driscoll, Sardis, Ashcroft, and Nevitt, which has in turn forced me to go a Matt Flynn R2. And I'm prioritizing that over getting a Sherry and Gorn to start the year. Flynn will end up becoming Sherry if he stays on the park, but I just need there's too much upside in the 2 rucks I have to not to pick Sherry. Nevitt should make 150k easy. I think it'll probably make 200k. So happy with him. And let's save the team. Let's chuck all the E's on, shall we? All the emergencies. Probably Davidson emergency over Stone. But yeah, tell me what you think of the team. We're going to be doing a round preview and all of that, deciding our VC and C. At the moment, I think I'm mainly thinking Sarong VC into Sheasel. Oh, actually, sorry. I'll probably go to Koning VC into Sheasel. That's probably what I'm mainly looking at. So I think North against that bad Western Bulldogs midfield at the moment, I think should do quite well. I'm actually tempted to back North to win that game, but I'm not too sure yet. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like my team, don't like it, I don't know, just tell me in the comments and I'll reply to you. I reply to pretty much every comment, I guess. I think maybe there's a few comments I haven't replied to yet, but I will get to those. I've just been a bit busy lately. But yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed the video, like my team, and yeah, we'll see you all in the next one.